A worldwide shutdown, a racial reckoning, schools closed, a challenged election, an insurrection, inflation, wildfires, a war in Ukraine, no hugging. I've always considered myself an optimist, but all of this is a lot to process. Our local hospital is reporting 1 in 5 adults visiting the emergency room are presenting with symptoms of anxiety and depression. That's compared to 1 in 10 in pre-pandemic times. There's currently a 4 to 5 month wait for new patient therapy appointments. Once again, we way underestimated the impact of disaster on our mental health. We were so caught up in hand sanitizers, mask mandates, social distancing, that we completely lost sight of the emotional impact. We didn't think about the loss, the isolation, parents having to become teachers in addition to doing their jobs. How are we going to move forward? How do we collectively heal? What if we take a culture vitamin? That's right, take a culture vitamin. How about signing up for a writing class? Learn how to play the ukulele. Visit your local museums. Anything that feeds your soul, takes your mind off the news. I've seen firsthand, as the executive director of an arts organization, the positive impact that arts can have on lives and health. A few years ago, my organization funded a program called Sing for Joy. Sing for Joy supports those with Parkinson's through singing. Singing helps build vocal strength. I was invited in to see the impact of our funding. And after a few Broadway show tunes, one of the attendees turned to me and said, "This is the only time I hear my husband's voice. Please don't stop funding this." I'll never forget that interaction. I started thinking about my own mental health challenges, and I too was feeling the impact of the past 2 years. I felt stressed, anxious, started obsessing over things that normally wouldn't bother me. So I started to meditate. I jumped from the gym to a hot yoga studio. Nothing seemed to work. So I decided to do an experiment on myself. And it started with drumming through trauma. I spent an hour drumming on a djembe. I have no musical experience, but I was making music within minutes. I could feel these drums just vibrating through my body. And then there was the adult hip hop class. I had to really pay attention or I'd fall out of step. After a few attempts, I looked around and I noticed nobody was perfect. Everybody was laughing, smiling. Nobody cared what my body was doing. I felt free. On the way home, I was all 5, 6, 7, 8, doing the moves in my head. But the best part was when I got home and my daughter said, "Mom, you seem a lot happier now than when you left." Then there was a xylophone concert in an art gallery. Sounds strange, but like drumming, it awakened all my senses. 4-week poetry class through my local library. This was a more quiet endeavor, done over Zoom. There were over 50 people on the weekly call. The first week, the instructor gave us a prompt. She said, use all of your senses and write down all of the details of your childhood kitchen. I wrote a poem titled, The Day I Almost Killed My Brother in My Mother's Kitchen. Writing poetry connected me with memories that I hadn't thought about for decades, like that sinking feeling of my brother's forehead coming into contact with my flying ice skates, and how much I hated my mother's meatloaf. Yeah. And then there was the high school musical production of Shrek. It counts. It actually turned out to be amazing as we saw the emerging talent in our community. It was affordable, accessible, but most importantly, it was successful, forced family fun. Since I've been immersing myself in the cultural world around me, I haven't had time to watch the news or worry about things that I can't control. I think my experiment might be working. I was recently asked the dreaded question, what do you like to do for fun? And I actually had an answer. The mental health sector alone cannot solve what's happening to us. And it is happening to us. If you're feeling sad and anxious, you're not alone. We are all feeling this way. But the good news is we can all start feeling a little bit better today. Congratulations. You have started the Arts RX immersion program. The over 300 cultural organizations right here on Cape Cod and beyond are waiting for you with open arms. By being here tonight, you are having a shared cultural experience with your community. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but as far as I can tell, there's 0 negative side effects. And we definitely don't need FDA approval. Thank you.